twisting and turning inside out. Beautiful move. Trying to get the shot on. He holds. He shoots. He scores! Absolutely.
The pitch. High fly ball center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall. Goal!
Roethlisberger gives him a lot of room here. Juju Smith-Schuster off to the races. Inside the 30, the 20, the 10.
Traditional. Unbelievable 10-year anniversary logo is dwindling down. We're past our 10.5 months. What a logo by A1, otherwise known as his government name, Anthony Veltri. I don't know his middle initial, but we can figure that out on Facebook or something. And wow, thanks for watching our Pittsburgh Sportsline show live in the BPTV studios. And I've been explaining to people how we're in the municipal building, the police station's right next door. For some reason, we're always under surveillance by the police station. And I'm not quite sure. Mayor's office is above, and other administration offices, and the great library we have in Bethel Park. Remember taking my kids there. I read books, so the library means a lot to all of us here in Bethel Park, except for, not picking on him, but he has a pirate hat on, and he's disingenuous. He could look that up in the library dictionary. Very disingenuous.
We're matching twins.
Well, give him the hat, and then you'll be fine. And
it's too big. It's too big for my head.
I understand. I understand. Hey, and that shirt, I don't know if you guys know, but remember Omar the tent maker? He's still in business. He's still in business. He made Smokin' Jim's champion old school shirt. All right, let's get on with the show. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park. And believe it or not, all the way from Nemacolin, the Cranberry, Wexford, and the city of Pittsburgh, and all points in the greater Pittsburgh area. So if you're in a location, and tell your friends and relatives, Verizon 32, you can see the talking machine and crew. And we're an award-winning crew. Over the years, we've actually won 27 Producer of the Month, Producer of the Year awards, and a 10-year anniversary award. So we're looking to get our 28th award, and we'll explain why later. And thank you for all the Facebook likes, 6943.
Let's go.
I'm trying to pump other people to get us the final 57 to 7,000. And Smokin' Jim, you went to Gateway, and you can just check the math on that one when you get a chance. With that Mac Pro computer that's never been taken out of the box.
Did you know that there's a calculator in that, by the way? Okay.
That's why I told him. Sure. No, but that's why I told him. He has the whole book on it. Yeah. Why this even happens. Well, I got a special announcement. I was just told about 2 minutes before the show. We always have a little prelude of conversation. Nick was telling Smokin' Jim that Anthony brought a cake in. Smokin' Jim goes, "What did you bring in?" And he goes, "A cake." And then he goes, "Why'd he bring it in?" So Nick explained he brought it in to take home. So I interjected, "Bring that cake up, and we'll explain why we have cake." And just ignore Smokin' Jim for a little bit, because he's not talking coherently.
What are you writing down?
Agenda.
I got to schedule a nap after this show.
We'll get you. We'll get you on this. Look at this. Somebody get this.
Whoa! Look at
forks, spoons, unbelievable. Wait, let me try to. You know, this could be a nightmare.
Oh, this is going to end badly.
This could be a freaking. Grab the box.
You did good. You did good, machine.
I do have a steady hand. You can see I hardly shake. All right, we got A2.
Orange writing. That's
Take.
precious.
Well, you know where we're at.
Huh?
Have you ever seen the logo to the
You know what
studio?
community we're in? Folks, Smokin' Jim is off the track so far, he actually doesn't know we're in Bethel Park with black and orange colors. They're not Halloween.
Have you seen the door? Every time you walk in, the logo's on the door.
Well,
You're here.
neither do I.
I do. I do. Come and cut the cake, Smoking Jim. We don't have a knife.
Yeah, we do. We got one.
I was looking for it. Anthony, do you want to cut it? Because it's your 2-year anniversary. This would be an honor. I'm honored that we got a new intern for 2 years. Nick is chasing him. And we're honored to have Steve, the MVP, who's been here for 5 years. We didn't get him a cake for this year. What the heck are we doing?
We should have known he was coming.
He's going to show up. Yeah,
It was a surprise.
He'd surprise
Looks like
us
you've
all.
done that before. Hey, well,
yeah it's pretty good.
Hey,
man.
your cutting skills are off the charts.
Oh, look at that.
Get a
Wait,
close-up.
He got a balloon.
Oh, PTI taught you that too?
Guess what? I'm grabbing a plate and a corner for me. You guys can get the rest. A2 will try to get it.
You want a tiny plate, or you want to use one of your big ones?
No, whatever y'all give me. Oh, it's chocolate.
Nice.
Here, one of you catch.
No.
Nice.
No, let Anthony hand it to him. Come on, live TV.
That was pretty good frisbee. We're one cable short.
Here, put
I'm
Anthony.
good. I'm not gonna eat right now.
No, hand it
I'll
to them.
Look like
No,
you,
that-
look like
you guys
the-
didn't take.
Hand it to them.
like the
Oh, I
black-
understand.
Yeah.
Oh, you want the cake on the plate? I
Yes.
understand. I'm sorry.
like the black man gonna
How
go
about one of them
last.
fork things?
Smoking.
See, that's the kind of cake that you get there.
Yeah, I got the smallest piece.
Anthony, this is delicious. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
What a surprise. I didn't know this was your special day.
For your 3rd year, get white batter. I like white batter, bro.
Don't give him cake. Take the cake back.
No, he already cut the cake.
No, take that cake back. I'm in charge here.
That's better than the
Thanks.
cheese.
Captain.
Here, you need a close-up? Who got one?
Does he got the name of his show on there or no? No, I can't.
What do
see
you
from
think it
here.
said on
I
there?
can't see from here, man.
Why'd you get these glasses? You put these glasses on. I still don't think the layer of oil on the lenses of these glasses. I don't know.
Afro Sheen.
Oh, you know what? I got distracted.
It's
We're
Jerry curl.
We're actually doing a show. Wow.
Are we still on camera?
Yeah.
Oh, A2 said we're still on.
We didn't cut away. You know what?
It's a good cake.
I got to do some promos.
I agree with Smoking, though. The white would have been a little better.
A1, let me just tell you, I don't know if you're looking at me, but
Thank you for the cake, Anthony.
thank you very much. We salute you. 2 years you've had to put up with Smoking Jim. I have almost 11 years, and I'm at wit's end right now. Because we just told him a couple things. He didn't realize I broke boards. Then he shared it for me. I don't know where he's even coming from. And then he's looking for black on the cake. I'm going to do a disclaimer on myself. If Smoking Jim comes over here, we have Bethel Park colors. And I apologize to all of you, including Smoking Jim, we're offended. I'm offended, I said it, but that's the only thing he understands. And sorry about all that. We realize we're live, and we'll get A2 on this. As long as he got this close up. And Ryan got bumped out of his seat. He's actually only doing audio tonight. So Steve, the former Rookie of the Year from 5 years ago, who's MVP, look at the video that Steve tightened up for A2. Now he's back on me. They're flipping around. All right, can I lick a spoon or fork? Delicious. Olive Oil's Pizzeria, they sponsor our show. Rico came in, the Puerto Rican guy that made our pizza. Only tonight, Frank Venera, the owner, went back to the Meat Monster Pizza. And for all the interns and volunteers, please watch the crumbled sausage Dave Cable was picking him up off the floor for 2 months till he told me that we can't be getting that anymore. So we went to straight pepperoni. That's a true story from over 2 or 3 years ago. Over 3 years ago. But we got it. We broke the rule, Dave, for just one time. They made a mistake. I said, we'll deal with it because this crew knows how to keep their sausage on their plate.
Yeah. Look at your face. What are you laughing about over there?
What he's thinking. Olive Oil's Pizzeria, great pizza, great Italian food, desserts, salads, you name it. 412-831-1900. Can't miss it. 5 minutes away from our studio. And Frank Fanera sponsors our show willingly all the time. He asked, how was the show last week? I said, we had one of our best shows. We couldn't get through the opening for almost 40 minutes.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And yeah, and I got so distracted by Smokin' Jim was so far out that we had to find him in the parking lot to actually finish the show. We just had a fake camera shot that was staying up there on him. And somehow it worked out. He was gone. He took us on places that we never went before. By the way, this 2-year anniversary cake, delicious. All right, but check out Olive Oil's Pizzeria. I'm going to try to move forward. It's hard. This cake's, I don't eat much sugar, but when I do, I have 2. Let's see what A2 did on this one. Look at that framing with the red polo. Excellent. That's Joey before he had DIPG, the brain cancer that killed him at 8 years old. His family started the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation to raise money to help other children and people that are suffering DIPG. Thousands each year get it. It's a death sentence. And that was over 9 years ago that he got this great illness. So, and they're raising money, over $100,000 they've raised. Dr. Gary at Children's Hospital said they're close to finding something that may cure the DIPG cancer, and they're looking into it deeply. Their biggest fundraiser is the 5K 1 mile superhero Joey Fabus walk run, and they raise more money at that. People dress up as superheroes, and they're serious about the 1 mile run, and they're serious about the walk, 5K walk. Smokin' Jim will have numbers for that from his Gateway math classes. 1 + 1 equals, he really don't know. But we'll move on. Next up, A2. Bethel Park Historical Society. Look at this shot. Look at that close-up. Perfect close-up. He cut the top off of it and centered all that verbiage. Look that up too, Smokin' Jim, and your Funkin' Wagnalls. I'll bring mine out if you bring yours. At 2600 South Park Road, red and white trolleys right out front. Yes, it's a trolley. It's not a T. We've talked about that. 1905 schoolhouse. The original schoolhouse is high school. It's been since 1905 refurbished from top to bottom. There's even a community foundation auditorium where I'm a trustee on the board, and it tells you about it. The 1971 Bethel Park High School's having their 50-year reunion. Smokin' Jim made some remark that, you know, it's really like a 51-year anniversary because Smokin' Jim's really smart with numbers. And I told him there was something called COVID, which he didn't really learn about till late last year, and it affected a lot of events. So here's a shout out to that class and the people doing it. Next up, another 501c3, sort of a sad situation. The B stands for Bennett, and we'll see what A2 came up with. I know it's going to be a great shot. Bennett was always smiling. Look at Bennett. Many handicaps he had. 2 kidney transplants. He died at 16 and a half about a year and a half ago. His family started a 501c3 to donate money to help other people and children in the same situations. They've had a couple events this year where they raised money, and they're helping people in our local area. I asked to have everybody like it that I'm friends with, and we got them up over 1,200 likes, and I thank all of you for doing that. And if you haven't liked them, always be smiling. Please do that. It helps them out and gets the word out to thousands of people. And thanks to all the people like Bill Means and others that like that page and are active on there. I see those names and a couple others I forget. But since he went to KO and was a legendary hard hitter, best ever at KO, I got a shout out to him. So just check him out. Always be smiling. Next up, we have good news with a lady that's going to need a living donor like my son gave me. He was my living donor, and I'm doing great. My son Drew's okay. Kathleen Miller got me the flyer. Look at that shot of Kathleen. She looks like a co-host on our show now. That's a nice large shot. But she's in bad health. Her kidneys were only functioning at 17%. When they go to 15%, she'll get a transplant. She found the living donor, thinks they may have watched my show, and she'll tell us when she gets the transplant. And we hope things will go well, and her health's getting worse, so prayers out to Kathleen. All right, mentioned the Bethel Park Community Foundation, and we'll see A2 on this. He's on fire. Look what he did there. Perfect close-up. Way to go. Hit it out of the park, baby. That was a level swing, unlike Smoking Jim's swing over there. You notice how he looks like he's chopping wood?
He's a right-handed Joe Morgan.
What about Vida Blue?
That might be one of the 5 Major League Baseball players he knows.
Excuse me, we got Bethel Park Community Foundation has grant money for you, $100 to $5,000 for doing great things with your groups in Bethel Park to make our community much better. And go to bpcf.org. We meet every couple months. Get an application and come on in. Next up, I always got to preface it like Smoking Jim only learned about Uncle Sam last year. We don't know how old Smoking Jim is officially. Unofficially, it's from 20 to 90. Oh, did I say that out loud? I was just thinking it's over 20. Sorry. But
You're as old as me.
He could be 90. But I want you for BPTV. You can be like A1, 2-year anniversary. You can be A2, working on what anniversary it is, a year coming up for you. And we got Nick. When's your 2-year anniversary? Coming up
November.
Soon. November. Isn't that A1's birthday month?
Yeah.
What a coincidence that is. Wow. Then we got Steve. Steve, can you shout out, is it 5-year anniversary for you? Yeah. The talking machine knows math. And I got to do a little special announcement. Smoking Jim's always been teasing these younger guys about women. And Steve told me to keep it a secret from especially Smoking Jim. He has a girlfriend, beautiful girlfriend named Sarah. And I talked to her.
She's from Monroeville. Beautiful.
She's just not from Monroeville. That's a lie.
Smoking Jim, we have to do the first disclaimer. She is nowhere near Monroeville. I talked to her, a very nice, pleasant person, and I'm happy for Steve and Sarah. He said, I'm going to come in and surprise all of you. And all of you noticed that I was at a loss for words when he was here tonight. Yeah. I didn't know it would be tonight.
Anytime we have cake, he shows
up. Another disclaimer. Smoking Jim, can you back that up with one date? Just one date. We'll move on with this. I want you for BPTV. If you're in high school, I wanted to share this out. Bo from the baseball team. When I brought the cameras back late on Saturday, they had to leave to go to another ghost story event that they're doing, and they're doing great things. Him and another assistant of his, I forget his name. So shout out to Bo on the baseball team. Shout out to the baseball team for being into the playoffs. So they didn't win a championship, but they're still playing baseball. So you can be here like Bo is. He's a senior at work at BPTV, and it can help you in your future. And by the way, Bo may be doing TV shows for a national station. So stay tuned for that. All right, that's all I got. I just wanted to share this with our fans. This was our opening before we got to What's on Your Mind, and it was only 22 minutes. And we're going to go Smoking Jim. What's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
Yeah.
you got to see Levine. And I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking machine, we got the VIP of BPTV, Nick Callis in the house. And I tell you what, we got High Diddle Diddle, Chip up the middle for a double. And we got the captain, 2-year anniversary, my main man, Anthony. Never a hair out of place. We got the NBA guru, motorcycle riding Ryan. And I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking machine, it's so good to see the Rookie of the Year, Steve Fisher. Did he outkick his coverage or what? His girlfriend is beautiful. He better not let her get away. Al Levine, the talking machine, he did a good job.
Did you have
Good Pittsburgh Sportsline karma.
Did you have to write all those down? You didn't remember all of us? That's nice. I got to remember the crew.
Smoking Jim, I'd like to make a comment, but I'm choking on the great cake, my second piece. So I'm not going to make a disclaimer on that.
But we can't forget take two with A2. Can we come up with something better than that? Come on, the man got swag. He's so smooth. And that's the best y'all can come up with is take two with A2. At least get him a T-shirt.
Now, Smoking Jim, you're going to have to apologize.
Get him something better. He's so smooth, Al. He got the charisma.
Smoking Jim, you're so smart that you just offended the guy who came up with it.
It was Nick that came up with it, didn't it?
No, you offended the guy that you're blowing smoke about. He came up with it. He designed the graphic.
Man. He
Now-
wanted to get out of here.
Hold it. Now, I was going to eat this last piece of icing. Here I go.
Wait, he's got a disclaimer.
You got to apologize.
It was.
It was Nick that did it, I thought.
I was trying to help you.
Yeah, I'm thinking it was Nick.
No, he was saying it. That's why.
No, I was trying to help him because Smoking Jim thinks.
Where were your suggestions, though?
But lastly,
You speak pretty loudly. Where were your suggestions?
hey, I came up with the VIP of BPTV, brother. I love that one. Hey, Al Levine, can I talk a little bit about the Willie Stargell?
Only for 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Have you ever heard of Euless Payne? Have you guys ever heard? He was there, but the reason I brought it up, I brought this to Al Levine, the talking machine, because his dad is mentioned in here, and that's what's on my mind. This is for you, Al Levine, the talking machine. I started to get Bill Neal to autograph it for you, but I figured I'd just give it to you.
Wasn't he supposed to autograph a check for me or something too?
Well, Smoking Jim, I would love to have a copy of Bill Neal's signature. You understand?
I get it.
I would love to have. Let me explain it
We
again.
got Tiptoe's name.
But I want to
in there.
thank you. I I appreciate
That's
it.
why last week I called you to make sure
Here,
I had your dad's
I'm not going to
first
do a
name.
disclaimer, but I'm going to explain what I have to put up with.
You're up, Chip.
No, not yet. I'm still finishing your segment. I get a text message from my best friend, Smoking Jim. And here's the question. He goes, text me, what's your dad's name? I'm going to...
I know. Can I say it because I remember? His name was Saul.
Yes.
That's what I
Because
thought.
I pay attention to.
But there's
when
a
he
sitcom
speaks.
called Saul. Saul.
Better Call Saul.
Yeah. So I'm like, is that? I wasn't sure.
No, that's probably not it. That's,
Yeah.
he refereed basketball. The guy in the show was a lawyer, I believe. So I don't know how you.
Here's the exact thing.
Yeah, okay.
Machine, what's your dad's first name? He doesn't even say just what's your name. He said, what's your dad's first name? And by the way, he put him in the City League Hall of Fame. So if you don't know his name, CTE, no offense to all of you with CTE.
That's right. I could have looked at the book.
Yeah, I didn't even want to say it.
I
So
didn't
look,
think of that.
And I just wrote one word answer, S-A-U-L. I thought he'd have a problem with it. He goes, that's what I thought, buddy. But there is a popular show on TV right now by the name of Saul. And for some reason, it didn't sound like your dad's name. Then he goes, called Better Call Saul. I never watched, but I'm told it's a very good show.
What's the matter with you?
So I go to him. I have heard about it too, and I'll share. You know Vince Ornato, the artist?
That's my man.
Yeah. Well, the other day we were at an event with Jessica Lee, and he goes, do you ever watch that show called You Better Call Saul? I said, no, I haven't watched it. So thanks, Smoking Jim. I appreciate it. Now we're going to go to Chip Hayner. After all that, what's on your mind?
Okay, well, it's great to be back this week, and I'm glad for all the kind thoughts that people put out for my lovely wife who survived her bout with COVID. She's still on the mend. She's tested negative. She got back to work today, but things are heading in the right direction, so thank you, everybody, for your kind thoughts. So what's on my mind? Heard some info over the sports lines over the weekends, actually Sunday afternoon, that Cole Tucker got DFA'd by the Pittsburgh Pirates. And Cole Tucker was a likable young man.
Yeah.
Had a great attitude, a great work ethic. It was a fan favorite. Unfortunately, he can't hit major league pitching. So, unfortunately, the Pirates have had to designate him for assignment. They sent him back down to the minor leagues, and then they discovered that he couldn't hit AAA pitching either. So the fact that he can't hit is the reason why he got DFA'd. And I was on a show about a year ago with a friend of ours who alluded to the fact that it's the Pirates' mismanagement of people like Gregory Polanco and Cole Tucker are the reasons for their failures. And I have to strongly disagree with that point of view, because I like to think that the athlete's given so many chances that, it falls on the athlete's shoulders to either perform or not perform. When you're standing in the batter's box and you're striking out more than you're doing anything else, that isn't the coach's fault. That's the player's fault. And unfortunately, players have to have some form of accountability. And what the Pirates need to do is they're giving plenty of young players opportunities this year, but they have to know at some point they got to cut bait and give some younger men with more potential a chance to prove themselves, because obviously he wasn't getting it done. Now, just because he was DFA'd doesn't mean that he's out of the Pirates organization.
Right.
If after 72 hours nobody claims him off of waivers, he could re-sign with the Indianapolis Indians. But he won't be on our 40-man roster. So for him to ever be called back up, they're going to have to create a place for him. I wish Cole Tucker nothing but the best. And it's unfortunate that, he's actually another smear on Neil Huntington's legacy. He was a first-round draft pick in 2014. And, apparently he's not going to pan out. I mean, he can play the field, but if you can't bat your weight, you're not going to spend much time in the major leagues.
Well, one disclaimer for you. A lot of good athletes can't play baseball and hit that ball. Because remember, they fail 7 out of 10 times, and they're in the Hall of Fame. So if you can't do that, you're not going to make it too far.
No, and if you can't play your way into a starting position on the Pittsburgh Pirates, you really don't belong in the major leagues.
Great point from one of the best Pirate fans in Pittsburgh. Great point, Chip. Now we'll go to, is his name really VIP? All right, we'll go to VIP. Thank you.
So, I wasn't here last week either. Well, I was here. I just wasn't on the show.
You were
But
digitally.
Yeah, okay. So I was here in good spirits, I guess. Smoking Jim.
No, you were great. You had two
And
great
Calvin Austin
segments.
didn't run a 403. I explained why.
And you know
but-
what? Smoking Jim, thank you for that analysis.
Yeah, no, that was good.
He never admitted he was wrong.
I always like to say, the world's not always trying to cheat you. Sometimes.
He still isn't.
No, that's her.
No, he still hasn't been wrong.
No, he didn't admit he was wrong for posting that.
He just said thanks for knowledge. I appreciate giving knowledge, because I always like to remind people sometimes the world's not cheating everybody. We're all good. But
Hold it. Ask him his opinion on that.
Do you think he ran a 4.03?
Nah, I'm with you.
No, you can't. Okay, good.
He's wrong then. Thank
Okay,
you.
so we're good.
Officially, Chip, he's wrong.
Anybody got a brother haircut? That's side with them.
Thanks,
Looks
buddy.
good, man.
Thanks, pal.
Disclaimer, he's bringing the race card out
Oh, gosh.
on a guy sitting here that got
Don't
a
you like
nice
that haircut? I like that haircut.
Who are you talking about? I just said he's bringing it out on Nick, who went to KO and we're not related and lives in Greentree.
Yeah, we haven't got the nepotism comments in a while, but that's okay.
He forgot about it.
But no, there was a comment made by A2 that I watched, and I was all like, so it made me think. It's like, well, you know, the fans from the before time aren't going to be around much longer. And I thought about it, and I was like, well, I've never said that before, but I'm thinking, I was just like, you know, should we change baseball because of fans from the before time getting ready to expire? No, we really shouldn't. But I just wanted to bring that up because I belly laughed, and you know, it was funny. It was really funny because I'm just like, yeah, maybe let's side toward the people that are younger fans for that reason. No notes. Great comment. Yeah, but I'll speak more of the Pirates now. But that was a highlight of me watching last week's show. Colt Tucker was the first draft pick that I actually followed in my, you know, in-depth career of covering sports. So that was pretty sad that he's now not on the 40-man roster. So R.I.P. to him. I don't know. I hope he comes back, but he's getting older now, so that might be a
Nobody
might be a
gets younger. Even look
No.
at you. You've never
Yeah.
been this old before.
That's
You
true.
know, and it's sad that he's only 25, and we're looking at him as he's old and washed up.
No, he's not washed up. He's just getting older. That's all I said. Not washed up. He has a chance to come back. We'll see what happens.
Technicality.
Yeah, technicality. I'm not worried about it. I'm just sad that he didn't do well as a young guy being a first-round pick. But that's okay. It's not over yet. We'll see what he does. But I'm just looking at the Pirates over this past weekend, and I was pleased to see when they played the Padres that a home run decided all 3 games. So clapping it up for the home runs in baseball and the powers and the run production. The Pirates won on a home run in the middle game of the series, and the Padres won with Luke Voit in the first game and Trent Grisham in the third. But the Pirates are a good baseball team, and I'm going to say that with maybe some people going, what, are you kidding me? They're under 500 or whatever. I think the Pirates are a good baseball team this year, and I think that they're going to finish in the division in the mediocre section, 3rd or 4th, because the teams this year in the Central aren't strong. But the good thing about the Pirates is that they're not falling with the division. They're actually holding their ground in the middle. Usually they sway with the tendencies of the division to, you know, either do terribly when all the other teams are doing bad, or they'll do really good when other teams like the Cardinals are winning over 100 games. They're a good team. There are little things that they're doing, though, where they're not having timely hitting, or there might be a defensive gaffe that's causing them not to win the games that they should. I mean, there are a lot of 1-run games, 2-run games that they didn't win this year that could have been flipped if they would have just made a fundamental play somewhere 1 or 2 different times. That's what's not going to make them a playoff team, though, because even the teams that are mediocre, that are kind of going good to great, making playoff pushes, do the little things correctly, and the Pirates still not doing some of those things. The starting rotation, not great. The bullpen's been carrying the team. There's a healthy balance right now of players on the team that are hitting for power and for contact, and that's getting them to score runs. They're a good team. Not a playoff team yet, though, but I'm having some faith because they're good. In the future, got to make those little adjustments because they're smaller tweaks. That's what I'm trying to tell people. I hear people talking about the Pirates are terrible, and I'm trying to tell you they're not. They're fine. They're going to be okay, and they're not going to be a postseason push team, but they're a team that you should still watch because, I mean, it's entertaining baseball. They're just missing 1 or 2 little
You
things. that
sound
can
like
make
you're
them
echoing.
Tell you, and I, for once, I agree with you.
Let me mark this date down.
Red letter. But I tell you what, some of the people that are worth watching, Rosie Contreras. If you've watched him pitch, the kid throws in the high 90s, and he's got good stuff. He pitched on Sunday afternoon.
I wish velocity mattered, though, don't you?
Yeah, but it's control. You know, I mean, velocity is not the only factor.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not the most important factor
No way.
in pitching.
No.
It's not the most important factor.
It's just not. Okay.
I have an update on 5/10/22. Nick agreed with Chip. Now,
We have to finish out May strong.
now Chip just come in strong, agreed with Nick about Buccos. So I'll put that down. I keep track.
But the team is worth watching. Nick made some excellent points. The Pittsburgh Pirates are a team for them to be able to be competitive. Whether it's an upper tier team or a lower tier team, they have to play mistake-free baseball.
Yeah.
And when they do not, they lose baseball games.
Yeah.
When look what they did last night. They've won 3 out of 4 against the Los Angeles Dodgers, who have arguably the strongest lineup in Major League history,
yeah.
which is what everybody was saying at the
That's
beginning
my
of the
team.
season.
I don't know. I never
Why are you
did that
wearing a
analysis.
pirate hat?
Goes with the outfit.
It
So-
doesn't.
Pirates, once again, another Pirate who may end up being a washout, takes the mound tonight, Mitch Keller. And the time for him to either step up and
No.
show that he's a Major League player is now, because he's got good stuff, but for some reason can't put away hitters.
Was he part of that 2014 draft? He was second round that year.
I'm not sure.
How would you know that?
I'm just asking.
No, but how would you
No,
know?
he was more recent than that.
So I agreed with Nick.
All right, we
Alan,
got that documented. All right, I'm going to try to. First off, Nick, you have a good mother. Looking good. Marla said, hi, crew. Hi, Marla. Chuck McElroy said, welcome back, Chipper. Great
Chief.
game last night against the Dodgers.
Yes, sir.
6-5 win.
I'll take it. 3 out of 4 against the Dodgers so far this year.
Ralph Williams said, yes, Tony. So I guess he's saying that to A1.
Ralph's still
No.
on his
He,
honeymoon.
Tony from Chick-fil-A asked a baseball question,
Oh, I missed it.
and they were having a.
Oh, I didn't see that. See, I don't see a lot of things on my phone. I apologize if Tony from Chick-fil-A stirring it up on there on our show. We appreciate
I have
that.
to get you some good readers.
Here,
Yeah, just got to keep that
here,
dripping
Smoking
Jerry
Jim.
curl off of him.
Another bad disclaimer. Smoking Jim's, who can't see, he looks like Stevie Wonder with his sunglasses on.
Now just cross your eyes real quick. Go ahead.
is telling me he's going to get me some readers when I'll let a 23-year-old tell me where is
It's just,
Chick-fil-A.
it's just not
I
there.
think it's the 80s.
No, it's
Here.
further up in the comments.
Yeah, well, I tried to
Yeah,
go.
you can't scroll up.
Smoking Jim, do you believe VIP?
Yes.
Okay, then you're wrong. He's wrong the first time ever on Pittsburgh Sportsline. Let me write that down. He was wrong. What's on my mind is something to do with baseball, Chip. I'm watching PTI before I came in, and, you know, Tony Kornheiser and Wilbon are on there, and they go, how about the pitching clock is working in the minor leagues? And they showed, they're experimenting there, and they cut the game by like 37 minutes. Each game, on average, is down 37 minutes with the pitching clock.
Now, here's what the thing is. If you're going to compare something, you need to compare apples to apples. In the minor league game, they don't have the television timeouts. They don't have all the other things that you do in a major league game because they have to sell
Chip,
advertising
I wanted your
space.
counterpoints to what I saw on
because,
ESPN.
Because the sponsors are the
Thank
ones
you.
that foot the bill for everything.
Thank
so
you.
they've got to get their time on. So why do you think the games are taking 3 hours? Literally, you could play a game in 2 hours and 10 minutes if you didn't have all
wanna see
the
that.
unnecessary BS.
On the contrary to
Smoking
that
Jim,
point,
when you watch baseball when you're younger, they did it all the time. The average game was like 2 hours and 14 minutes.
the only point I'll
you
take
missed it.
the only point I'll take to that is that the breaks in Major League Baseball, and I do radio, I do the Pirates board at 93.7 The Fan, and the breaks for radio are only 1:45. They're not that long. So
Okay, we got a
Pittsburgh-
clarification from radio.
a minute 45. I don't think that's that long.
Shout out to one of my best
right,
friends
but
from.
what about your television timeouts? They get
They're-
more money from television than they do from radio.
Television's about 2 minutes,
So there's
That's
three
right.
minutes-
and they made regulations for broadcasts
yeah,
last
it's
year.
3 minutes and 45 seconds.
No, they run at the same time. You don't do radio commercials then TV commercials. They're in sync.
Okay, but still, that's 2 minutes for every commercial, which is done every
2 minutes.
half inning. Every half inning.
I know those 2 minutes are really
Okay,
killing
every
things,
half inning. So
except
there's
when the
nine-
pitcher's just
so
stepping
there's-
off the
so
rubber,
there's 9
wiping
innings.
his
That means there's 18 half minutes.
No.
So there's 36 minutes right there, which is the time that he claimed.
We don't have
that
time
they
for
cut
this.
off of it.
On
I
ESPN PTI.
I support the pitch clock. It's fine.
And again, I got to go ding ding. Fighters, come out of your corner. We'll move on. One of my best friends from Keystone Oaks, graduated with him, my class from Castle Shannon. George Bonner's watching. Thank you, George. Remember a lot of good times with you there. All right. We're going to go in 10 seconds to Fiction and Fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac.
But hey, this past Saturday, I had lunch with my good friend Guy Junker, and Guy Junker told me that he's retiring this year. And
Everybody knows about it.
But does anybody know the reason why? He told me the reason why.
Well, you keep secrets like you have an oil leak. It just drips out.
How old are you smoking, Jim?
Guy Junker told me, you know,
You tried.
don't share it with anybody, but he told me
That's
the
what
reason
hence
why.
I said he keeps secrets like
And
they're leaks.
and the reason is they made him work last year on Christmas. And not only did they make him work on Christmas last
Hold it,
year.
I got to do a disclaimer here. We had a little break, folks, and Smokin' Jim said that he was supposed to have a meeting yesterday, and it got canceled because of the holiday. And Smokin' Jim's comment, and I'm trying to quote him verbatim, why would you cancel a meeting on a holiday? I rest my disclaimer.
Okay, so they made him work on Christmas.
So they made him work on Christmas. Not only did he have to work on Christmas, but they showed 3 NBA games on his channel, so he really had nothing to do. And when he thought about it, he's like, all this time I'm sacrificing for myself, my family, my kids. He says it's just time. And it's very rare. You know, recently I was watching the Ronaldo Snipes Larry Holmes fight, and my man Myron Cope was the ring announcer. Howard Cosell was the blow-by-blow. Who did the color? You remember?
No, I don't remember.
Ronaldo called me Mr. Snipes.
Ronaldo called me Mr. Snipes. But you look at Myron Cope. Myron Cope did, you know, announcing for boxing. He did radio. He did the Steeler games. You don't retire in that position. Howard Cosell didn't really retire. They either get fired or they do it until they die. John Clayton,
he actually
Sports
wrote for
Illustrated. That's right.
Yes, he did.
Only Chipper
and
know that.
here, you know, I worked at the Pittsburgh Press and Post Gazette.
That's when it was booming. That's when the newspaper business was booming.
Well, guess who used to write for the newspaper?
Did Myron Cope write for them?
Yeah, you forgot it. buddy.
Double yoy. And
That's a triple yoy because he doesn't know that.
hey, Bino Cook never retired.
I met Bino.
Most of those guys die the night before their papers do. Listen, when you get a press pass,
They died before they went in the casket.
there you go. When you get a press pass, you get free parking, you get free tickets to the game, you get sitting in the press box free, you get to eat free. Why would you retire from something like that? So it must have been things that really ticked off Guy Junker in his last year or so to make him walk away from all those type of
Well, you said
great
what the
perks.
reason was.
And can I give one last shout out?
Yeah, you got
One
10
last
seconds.
shout out to Reggie Wolford that just passed away. He was waiting on a heart transplant. I don't know if you guys ever heard, but he was the first black basketball player in Kentucky history to graduate. So, shout out to Reggie
and
Wolford.
Just two things about Guy Junker. You know that he's an alumni of Baldwin High School.
Baldwin High School, they got thin skin out there.
So, and then the other thing I was.
Thin skin out Baldwin
Well,
High
wait a
School.
minute.
Make
So-
you work
Well,
Christmas, you
know,
quit.
now I'm gonna call you out on the carpet right now. Did you pick up the lunch tab?
No, I didn't. I almost. I
Chip.
left my money in the car.
Thank you. We'll go to we'll go to Chip Hayner and trivia time. 10 seconds. We good?
Yep. All right, everybody. So let's talk about trivia time. You know how I always like to talk about the history of the game of baseball.
Yes.
And what we could be witnessing right now. We could be witnessing an attempt at one of the unbreakable records in Major League Baseball. And what could that be?
I just saw that
What
coming up.
what could
Yeah.
that be? Right now, Trey Turner of the Los Angeles Dodgers has a 22-game hitting streak. Paul Goldschmidt of the St. Louis Cardinals has a 21-game hitting streak. And these are two players that are lighting it up. And could they potentially reach that magical number of 56 that Joe DiMaggio set in the summer of 1941?
That ain't that hard.
It isn't that hard? Yeah. Well, I would beg to differ because that record hasn't even, they've gotten close but not within breathing distance of it. And so I'm going to go down the list of the longest hitting streaks in Major League Baseball history. And of course, Joe DiMaggio in the summer of 1941, 56-game hitting streak. Next up, number 2, Wee Willie Keeler with 45 games. He did it over the course of 1896
You remember him.
and 1897.
You remember him smoking?
Number 3, no less than Pete Rose
Yes!
at 44 games. And you know what the problem was? The over and under was 45, and he bit the over.
You cold-blooded.
That's true. He has facts on that. He was a degenerate gambler.
Number 4, Bill Darlene, Chicago Cubs, 1894, 42 games. George Sisler of the St. Louis
Ooh,
Browns.
I remember him.
And number 5, 1922, 41 games. Ty Cobb, Detroit Tigers, 1911, 40 games.
He had
Paul
the first record.
Molitor of the Milwaukee Brewers, 39 games. This was in 1987.
Ain't no black man streaking.
Jimmy Rollins, Philadelphia Phillies, 38 games over the 2005-2006 season. Tommy Holmes of the Boston Braves, 37 games in 1945. And Gene DeMontreville of the Washington Senators from 1896 to 97 at 36 games. I could go through this list, because, I mean,
Chip, you brought up a great point. Ty Cobb had the record then for how many years? From 1911 to 41.
That's my guy.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Ty Cobb would have hated you.
No, actually, Wee Willie Keeler had the record.
Oh, did he?
Because his 45 games. His was from 1896.
Yeah, I missed that. Yeah.
But if you pay attention to baseball, you might think that something. I have gone on and on about what I feel the quality of hitting has gone down in baseball, but there are some amazing things being done. One of them, for example, watch what Manny Machado's doing in San Diego right now. He's hitting the cover off the ball.
He's lighting them up.
Paul Goldschmidt, in the course of his streak, is batting .445.
How old is he right now? Because he's been around for years, Goldschmidt. In his late 30s?
I'd say he's
in 36.
Is he that old? I'd say he's in his 30s.
Yeah,
He made his debut in 2011. So
Okay. But hey, it's interesting to watch. These things can develop. They can end in the blink of an eye.
Right.
Isn't there somebody on pace for 66 home runs?
Aaron Judge, but here's what the problem is with players like Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. Okay, these guys usually spend anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks on the injured list.
Okay.
They do it every year, and if he makes it through the year healthy, he could potentially give the home run
Move
record
away,
a run.
Babe Ruth.
No, and Smoking Jim, you should bet on this because it's a contract year for Judge.
And here's what the thing was: Judge turned
Giving you a
down.
tip, baby. Go for the money.
Judge turned down over $200
That's
million
why I'm telling you.
from the Yankees
213.
to bet on himself.
And he is. So Smoking, he's betting on himself. Lay it on 'em.
Turned down $200 million.
Yeah, you turned down $2, so what the heck?
What's money anymore, right?
Yeah. No, thanks for that, Chip. We're running low on time. We're gonna go to VIP, and thanks to Ron Valerino for watching the show. We appreciate you. And
That's my
anybody else that hasn't showed up on my Android phone, thank all of you watching. It could be from 100 to 200. We're not sure. And of course, on TV, we know between 1,000 and 5,000 people watch our shows. So thanks to all
Can
of
I
you.
make
Go
one
ahead.
other
Yeah,
one other
lay
shout
it
out?
on.
We're limited on time. If you're not paying attention, the Final Four in the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah.
Two series worth watching.
David.
The Rangers and the Tampa Bay Lightning, the two best goaltenders in the NHL, Vasilevsky and
Whatever his name.
the Rangers goaltenders. The Lightning, they win this year. That will be back-to-back Stanley Cup championships. Then you've got
It'll
Connor
be
McDavid.
three-peat back from the Bulls.
Connor
Three-peat.
McDavid
my guy.
and Leon Draisaitl of the Edmonton Oilers, who both, after 9 games in this year's playoffs, have 26 points each.
Right.
Okay,
That's at Gretzky levels.
That's usually what
almost.
the Conn Smythe winner wins after 4 series of playoffs, not 2. So Colorado and Edmonton start tonight. The Rangers and the Lightning tomorrow.
Yeah.
Series worth watching.
Right. All right. Let's get the VIP in 10 seconds.
I gotta keep this brief, but I got something to say. Let's say it. So, Chip says a lot that baseball hasn't changed in 150 years because the league was founded in 1869, and the game is practically the same. And I'm here to say nobody should ever make that statement, not only about Major League Baseball, but about any sport, because there have been fundamental changes throughout sports that you've got to acknowledge to understand how the game has progressed from life in 1870 until right now. So here we go. A few things. Number one, talked about this already. The called strike used to be a thing because batters could infinitely take pitches until they found their sweet spot. So something as simple as an umpire calling a pitch a strike, that's changed from then to now. The two leagues in Major League Baseball, the American League and the National League, used to not play each other. They were distinct leagues. Then one day somebody thought of the brilliant idea, hey, let's profit off of this. Let the two best teams from each league play in the World Series. The World Series used to be 9 games. Now it's 7 games. But in that time, the World Series was so new that when the Pirates lost to the Boston Americans in 1901,
03.
03, my bad, 03. So then 04, when the Giants made it, they won the National League pennant. They were so mad about the World Series being a thing that the Giants manager said, no way, we're not playing in that. We're the superior league, and they just didn't have a World Series in 1904. So that's the story behind that. How about the baseball? They corked the baseball around the 20s. So there's a cork in the baseball now that makes it go a little bit farther. Before that time, they just had a bunch of horse hide
Dead
around it,
ball
and it had
era.
a dead inside.
Dead
That's
ball
where we
era.
had the dead ball era, because the ball wasn't as jumpy. They found out, though, when they put the cork in the middle of the ball can go a little bit farther. And when the ball goes farther, it's a little bit more entertaining. Young people like me will tell you that who watch baseball. The baseball bats, they used to be as big as 42 inches long. Now they're not. Now there's regulations on the bats. The outfield, back in the day, there used to be unique fields. Then there started to be those multi-purpose fields, so every baseball field had around the same dimensions because there are only so many ways you can make a baseball and a football field together. That's since changed again since that period from the 70s to the 2000s because people like their distinct football and baseball fields. So now we have more unique baseball fields again. The designated hitter, self-explanatory. That came into effect because the year of the pitcher was actually the most boring year in baseball because pitchers were dominating. There was no offense, so you got really low-scoring games. So the league wanted to do something about it because their ratings were plummeting. And since the introduction of the designated hitter, as I've said, run productions have gone up, home runs have gone up. And then you got technology now where players can look at their at-bats and look at a bunch of different things like StatCast to determine, how they can make adjustments quickly in games instead of just getting a feel for it and going out there and doing random things. So baseball has changed since 1869. The game has survived for 150 years because of evolution, not because of traditionalism and because, it's just been that way forever. It has changed, as has every sport. I just wanted to point out baseball, so that never said again.
So, and that's great that they can view their at-bats and make changes. So now instead of striking out once or twice a game, they can strike out 4 times.
Sure. We got time for you on location, too. So,
All right. Thanks to George Malerbo for watching. Longtime Post-Gazette press friend. And I'm going to do my on location 10 seconds. Honored to be at a grand opening of Zhang Taekwondo. Unbelievable. That was my best, a little preview done by the VIP, Nick Callis. He was known as the VIP by all the experts there and Taekwondo people. They even shouted out to him. They thanked him. I thank him. He did this little preview, and you got to see it. They now call me the board-breaking machine. And they taught me how to do a forearm break and not hit your elbow or your wrist. And you had to hold it straight across and step forward. And it was like pitching, put your weight into it and your arm in it.
Give up the secrets.
Well, I have to because they taught me. I'm explaining to anybody like Smoking Jim that wants to break a board in their house if they can find it. You can do it. It was the greatest show that I've ever done. Sad that Smoking Jim missed it. Grandmaster Zhang was a little disappointed with no Smoking Jim. He wanted you to try to break a board too.
I'd have paid to see that.
No, that wouldn't have done it. No elbow. So he didn't listen at all, folks. But hey, watch when the show comes out. It may be over a little hour, but it's a great show from the beginning to the end. We had so much content, so many expert people there. We had black belts from all ages, as young as 8 years old, not a black belt, but they're going to school. And an 8-year-old and an 11-year-old girl were battling. We had 2 best friends. Master Zach, that runs the studio there, was fighting one of his best friends, and you wouldn't have known they were friends, Smoking Jim.
Wow.
But they were smiling.
Wow.
And they were actually friends hitting each other. Unlike yourself with there's bad blood. Just had to share that. Hey, thanks to all of you for watching us. We appreciate you watching our shows, and if you tell other friends about it, we appreciate that too. And we've gathered a few other people in there, and we're going to keep on doing our shows. And just check out this great show from Taekwondo Master Zhang. And please stay Joey strong.